company, but as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico.
Make these things, absolutely. Our robots work as hard as Chinese robots do. They also don't complain, they don't join labor unions, they don't commit suicide. So robots can do that.
John Deere just told 225 American workers to hit the road while they build a shiny new $55 million factory in Mexico.
This year, Deere announced it would be moving part of its production line from the Dubuque John Deere works to Mexico, also laying off 99 local workers.
But the real story isn't about Mexico at all. It's about the robots that are taking all our jobs while Trump yells at brown people.
Notifying John Deere right now, if you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that...
See, Trump can't tweet angrily at artificial intelligence or threaten tariffs on robots. That's why he's sticking to his greatest hits album. Blame Mexico, threaten tariffs, repeat. Meanwhile, those manufacturing jobs aren't coming back regardless of which side of the border the factory sits on. The robots don't care about your wall, Donald. Is Trump's primary remedy to impose a 200% tariff on John Deere products? It is akin to amputating one's entire finger in order to address a single fragment.
On Monday, Trump told a group of farmers Deere could face major tariffs if the company outsources jobs to Mexico.
That is the typical mindset of Donald Trump. The orange genius is of the opinion that punishing American farmers will preserve American employment. It is entirely logical if one does not give it any consideration. We should investigate the genuine consequences of this tariff dispute for the farmers who comprise Trump's base. A president who threatens to raise the price of essential survival supplies is not exactly advocating for the common man. These are the same individuals who previously adorned their combine harvesters with the massive Trump 2024 flags, and now their idol is financially punishing them.
Donald Trump said earlier this week he would impose a 200% tariff on the company if it moves production to Mexico.
Do you remember the time during Trump's first tenure when these same farmers were crushed? He should have been featured on pay-per-view due to the catastrophic failure of his clever trade conflict with China. It was essentially China's statement that, oh, you want to play tariff games? That is impressive. We regret to inform you that we will no longer be purchasing your soybeans. Suddenly, American producers were accumulating mountains of produce that no one desired. Nevertheless, it seems that Trump's memory exceeds his concentration span during intelligence briefings. The government was compelled to offer emergency bailouts in order to maintain the financial stability of producers. There is no greater indicator of winning than requesting government assistance as a result of your president's decision to engage in a game of chicken with a superpower. Nevertheless, he was afforded 5 minutes to project an intimidating demeanour on Twitter. At the conclusion of each season, Donnie Deals intends to increase the cost of tractors by fourfold for individuals who are already experiencing financial hardship. Even Trump could understand the mathematics. A tractor would cost $300,000 under his ingenious tariff if it is already priced at $100,000. This would render farming impossible rather than restoring America's grandeur.
Company, but as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico.
Despite the fact that farmers already have exceedingly narrow profit margins, they are expected to pay 3 times as much for essential equipment. That would be the same as referring to oneself as a saviour and charging an individual $15 for a gallon of milk. In essence, Trump's trade policy is the economic equivalent of flipping over the monopoly board when he is losing.
Unusual for Deere to consider any number of factors when it comes to leveraging our global footprint. As a global business, they say, while building...
He appears to be unaware that his outburst would be reimbursed by American consumers rather than John Deere or Mexicans. It appears that he is almost entirely unaware of the operation of tariffs. I acknowledge that it is unexpected. Our former president intentionally disregards the fact that John Deere is not relocating its operations to Mexico as a result of their disdain for bald eagles and apple pie.
John Deere is moving some production from Iowa to Mexico. The company is acquiring land there to build a facility that will be operational.
They are behaving in this manner because capitalism, which Republicans claim to admire, necessitates the maximization of profits. Like Trump's pursuit of Big Macs, enterprises pursue profits. The mechanism functions in the same manner. Additionally, a significant number of these manufacturing positions are being transferred to robotics rather than Mexican workers, a reality that Trump is unwilling to confront. By 2030, robots will replace 20 million manufacturing positions worldwide, according to Oxford Economics. The technological transformation cannot be obstructed by tariffs or angry statements in all caps. The loss of these jobs would not be mitigated by John Deere's continuous production in the United States. Rather, they would be lost to machines rather than Mexican workers. What is the genuine irony? American employment are being replaced by the technology and software that are being developed by American tech corporations. The automation of factory jobs in Silicon Valley is occurring at a rate that exceeds the speed at which Trump can utter the word "cov-thief." Nevertheless, Trump finds it significantly easier to blame African Americans than to confront the intricate reality of automation. You are prohibited from referring to artificial intelligence as a rapist or imposing a 200% tariff on robots in your campaign speeches.
Robots can do what human beings can do now. The cost of robots is less than $1 an hour. So imagine what's possible.
The tariffs on steel and aluminum that were implemented in 2018 actually harmed the very individuals that Trump purports to care about. Nevertheless, acknowledging this would entail the acceptance of responsibility, a sentiment that Trump does not share. It is significantly simpler to assign responsibility to Mexico than to recognize that his initial strategies were entirely unsuccessful. Trump's political brand is founded on the provision of simplistic, inaccurate solutions to complex issues. Is automation replacing manufacturing jobs? It is evident that Mexico is the culprit.
Make these things, absolutely. Our robots work as hard as Chinese robots do. They also don't complain, they don't join labor unions, they don't commit suicide. So robots can do that.
Is climate change a threat to crops? Fraudulent activities emanating from China? Is a pandemic resulting in the deaths of Americans? Add bleach. His remedies consistently exacerbate the issues he claims to resolve. Many farmers will continue to vote for him, despite his proposals for measures that would impoverish them.
According to World Economic Forum, 85 million jobs will be replaced by AI by 2025.
This is the most disheartening aspect. The effectiveness of cultural identity politics is demonstrated by the ability to persuade individuals to vote against their economic interests, by eliciting a sense of satisfaction from their anger. The economic issues that Trump is attempting to address are akin to a baby attempting brain surgery. They are amusing for a brief period before the potential damage becomes apparent.
The move impacts workers in Dubuque, though it's unclear how many workers. The company says this is in response to rising manufacturing.
It appears that he lacks a comprehensive comprehension of mathematics, manufacturing trends, or tariffs. Nevertheless, he is adept at directing his devotees to attribute the responsibility for problems that he is unable to resolve to others. And that capacity consistently outperforms the actual resolution of political issues in the United States. The John Deere scandal serves as an illustration of Trump's methodology for addressing issues. He assigns responsibility to Mexico, disregards the robots that are replacing labor, and proposes solutions that undermine his own supporters. He appears to be under the impression that farmers will not be aware of the threefold increase in the price of their tractors. His economics approach is akin to that of an infant who attempts to resolve issues by striking an object with a hammer and observing what breaks. Consequently, it is important to remember that Trump is attempting to repair a flat tire by igniting the vehicle, while his devoted farmers are confined to the back seat, cheering inanely as the flames approach, the next time he asserts that his mystical tariffs will save American employment.